passing through the pain every day, so my eyes is hazy. I'm going to school, trying to learn something, but I know no book, cause I ain't thought nothing. My teacher is hungry, he's paid in change. Matter of fact, he's waiting for his paying day. So he goes on a strike and I'm left in the streets. I'm bugged all day by EFCC, cause my money's in the West Indies. Or Yankee thing on the internet, that's the recipe. I gotta swim, man. I need money in my drawers. Now this con man calling us YY boys. They praising Ribadu, he's so hard to handle. Tell him go get IPP. I'm a street Mike, I'm in the street every day and night trying to get the cheese, I'm devious. I make it bleed like a chick on a period. So don't stop my shine, man. Cause my blog with a thick rhyme, man. Let's walk, let's talk. Street mics! I got a lot on my mind. These schools got me speaking my mind. Street mics! I go young.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the African Wahala. We are going to be talking about the situation with the Anambra State Governor, the newly elected guy, Charles Soludo. He came out recently complaining about the amount of money that he met in the Anambra State coffers, left behind by his predecessor, Obiano. And then we're going to briefly talk about the ex-Super Eagles, the fact that they were supporting Tinubu, the reactions that it generated, and some reasons. We're not going to take too much time in this episode. It's going to be a short live stream for about 30 minutes. If you like the content, feel free, drop a comment in the comment section. I have a WhatsApp number scrolling at the bottom of the screen that you can call and contribute if you're interested. So let's go into the conversation ASAP. Charles Soludo, recently hired as the governor of Anambra State. He came out complaining about what he met in the coffers of the state. From what you guys can see on the screen here, Soludo said, Obiano left 300 million naira cash, but hundreds of billions in debt. Governor Charles Soludo of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, his predecessor, left only 300 million naira in treasury. Now, that should not be a surprise. If I am correct, Obiano is currently under the investigation of the EFCC. He was arrested recently and then he was released immediately. His wife was in a scuffle with Bianca Ojukwu. They both slapped the shit out of each other. That was fun. That went viral. That was just something for us to talk about. In my opinion, that was a distraction. But the fact that Obiano comes out today and is complaining about the amount of money that he met, it leaves a weird taste in my mouth. And I'm not from Anambra State. I have no business with Anambra State, apart from the fact that Anambra State is a part of Nigeria. And I have a lot of friends from Anambra. But one thing I know for sure is that the level of destruction that Nigeria has faced across the board, from the north to the east to the south to the west, is so deep that anybody that comes around and says, I am the right man for the job, I am the right woman for the job, I will fix this mess and improve the standard of living of the people, you should be ready for the consequences of that. Because the truth is, nobody forced anybody. Nobody forced you as a governor to contest and be elected. Nobody did. As a matter of fact, in Nigeria, we all know that if you're in the political class, that is the most lucrative career path that you can find yourself in. Because once you get into politics, you are a millionaire. It's like magic. Automatically, you are able to siphon money. You are able to pocket public funds into your private bank account. And more than likely, you will not be held accountable. So that is the mindset that a majority of the guys that get into politics have. And I'm not saying that is the same mindset that Soludo has. I will give Soludo the benefit of the doubt. because he hasn't had a political position before. He has been appointed in a managerial role as the former governor of the central bank, CBN. So he has some experience. He has the academic background, he has the work experience to be a thoroughbred governor in Anambra. But when he comes out making these types of statements, it makes you ask questions and you start thinking, maybe this guy is not even capable. And I'm not saying that he is not capable, but I am in the right position to ask that question. Because you getting that job, you should realize that it's a difficult job. Even countries that have not been destroyed as much as Nigeria has been destroyed. I'm talking about countries where newly elected officials meet lots of money in the account. They still have a lot of challenges. They have a lot of problems. Now, when you find yourself in a country like Nigeria that has been looted for decades, then you should expect more challenges. And if you did not put any money in the coffers of the state, then that's why you were hired. Think about it that way. I was hired to fix the mess that was created by my predecessors. And for that reason, me meeting just 300 million naira in an entire state's account, that is the first problem that I need to solve. You're an economist, Soludo. You have your background, your experience in the banking world. For that reason, I'm pretty sure you can find a solution to this problem. Most importantly, well, I wouldn't say most importantly, but one of the most important factors is that Soludo needs to use his state executive powers to get Willie Obiano probed and possibly prosecuted. He has to be investigated. When found guilty, he has to be prosecuted. We need to start seeing politicians go to jail after they've committed crimes. When we get to that stage as a country or as a unit, because the country might not even survive, if we are being honest with ourselves, in a couple of years, Nigeria might be gone because of the way things are going. So whether we're still Nigeria or we are now a group of smaller countries, it is important for anybody that gets into the position of power to be held accountable when he has slacked. And in this case, if Obiano squandered money from Anambra State coffers, then it needs to be investigated. So one of the goals for Soludo should be, apart from trying to improve the standard of living of the people in Anambra and building infrastructure and doing all that good stuff, he should also find a way to use his executive powers to probe, investigate, and possibly prosecute the predecessors that looted the money for the people. That's what he's supposed to do. So this is not a blame video. I'm not trying to blame Charles Soludo, because at the end of the day, this is just 1 week in. He's 1 week in as the governor of Anambra State, and he applied for the job. Nobody forced him to do that job. And if he was well aware of the situation in Anambra State and in the entire country, he should have known that the predecessors have stolen so much money, they've taken so much loans, they've put the country in a bad financial situation. And these are the challenges he should be ready to deal with. So he doesn't need to come to the media complaining and telling the people that, oh, I only met 300 million naira in the bank account and it's going to be difficult to build infrastructure. It's beginning to look like excuses just 1 week in, and that is bad. So that's what I have to say about that. The second point here is the Kanu Nwankwo video. I'm pretty sure we all seen the ex-Super Eagles players gathering themselves, hanging with Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his 70th birthday. And then Kanu Nwankwo, he stood out because these guys are like legends in the Nigerian sporting world. I'm talking about Kanu and JJ Okocha, especially those two. Even Taribo West too. This is Peter Rufai. I'm not sure who this is. And then a lot of people got upset with Kanu because he was supporting Tinubu. A guy that is trying to become the president of the country, but he has an extensive criminal track record. Apart from the track record that he has, this guy's godfatherism has completely destroyed the economic powers of millions of Nigerians, especially those from the Southwest. So people are against Tinubu, but the system will support Tinubu because the system is unfair and it's rigged. Plus, Tinubu is using the same old tactics of previous politicians that have destroyed the country in this coming election 2023 by going to visit different godfathers, elder statesmen like Obasanjo, Babangida, same people that contributed to the destruction of the country. Tinubu goes to visit them so they can endorse him to become the next president. You find Tinubu traveling around the country, giving money to everybody that is asking for money. There is a fire in a market in the north. Tinubu flies to that area, donates 50 million naira. He comes out on all the radio stations, gives all types of interviews. It is my ambition to become the president of the country. And people need to pay attention to these key words. Tinubu saying it is my ambition, a lifelong ambition, simply tells me that it is a selfish ambition. He's not trying to be the president for the country or the people. He's trying to be the president for himself so that he can put it on his resume after his presidency that I was once the president of Nigeria. That's it. Plus, Tinubu came out recently and was talking about the Islamic bodies need to open a political directorate, the same way that the Redeemed Christian Church of God came out recently and was talking about a political arm needs to be open. So, with that being said, Tinubu, with the Islamic opening political arm conversation, that is what we call divide and conquer through religious premises. Because what will happen is extremist people with extremist religious views will come out and show their extremisms, and they will divide themselves based on religious lines, along religious lines. So it's a dangerous path that Tinubu is taking, right? But Kanu Nwankwo and the rest of the super egos coming out to support Tinubu, having a lot of us angry, right? Because we are like, you guys are supposed to be our heroes. Why are you supporting this guy? A guy that you know has a terrible track record. A guy that he's unpopular amongst the people of the country. He is popular amongst the political elites and the people that are victims of weaponization of poverty. He's popular amongst them because when it's time for election, Tinubu and his followers will organize donations to these people. Oh, let's give them 5,000 naira each. Let's give them recharge cards. Let's buy them rice, beans, gari. Weaponization of poverty. Then we found Taribo West praying fervently for Tinubu. And Tinubu had a surprised look on his face. I want to see if I can find that photo when Taribo West was praying. But I'm sure you guys have all seen it. Clearly, Taribo West is going through some financial problems that has made him desperate. So much so that he's praying fervently. It's a fake prayer. We all know it's a fake prayer, except people that choose not to be logical. But if you are logical, you know that the prayers from Taribo West to Tinubu is what we call eye service. It was a fake prayer. It was a prayer basically to impress Tinubu. And if I'm going to guess, Tinubu probably gave him some money. Now, let's go back to Kanu Nwankwo. Kanu Nwankwo came out with an explanation why he had to support Tinubu. Was the explanation good enough? Do I need to play the video? Maybe I should play the video for those that haven't seen it. It's about 1 minute long.
My country people, yeah, you know what it is. Yes, a lot of people are talking. A lot of people are yarning. All the same, we have our own opinion. Of course, we have to talk. But pay attention. I'm not a politician. I'm a footballer. I'm a proud one. I'm a virgin, and I know what is good and what is not good. So pay attention. 22 years ago, Kanu Foundation have been looking for people to support, help us. But all the same, we got only 3 governors that was present at then. And Ahmed Tinubu was one of them. And he gave the foundation money to start off, supported us. And now, his birthday, 70th birthday, why not? We also have to come and support him. We have another game we're going to play for him, and we wish him all the best. The best life can offer, most importantly, good health. And please, don't keep on talking and talking and talking.
Well, unfortunately, we are going to talk, Mr. Kanu Nwankwo. We are going to talk because you are a popular guy with a huge following and very influential. The fact that you stood up there and you're supporting Tinubu alone is enough reason for a lot of your lovers, your followers, your fans to also jump on the bandwagon supporting Tinubu. And that's very dangerous because Tinubu will wreck people's lives if he becomes the president. I need to remind you guys that Tinubu was actually the main instrument in bringing Buhari in 2015. And they made a lot of promises, and they obviously failed on all the promises. I'm going to make a video, a live stream, documenting 30 promises that Buhari's administration made in 2015 and how many they completed, how many they failed. Now, Tinubu was an orchestrator of Buhari winning the presidency in 2015. Fast forward in 2022, we can all agree that Buhari completely, absolutely failed. If anything, Buhari needs to be tried for lots of crimes after his administration. He needs to be tried for taking away human rights. He actually needs to be tried for humanitarian, what's the word now? Human rights abuses. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, because during Buhari's time, he basically just took us back like 60 years. Now, Tinubu, Buhari's partner, I know they have some turmoil going on the inside within the APC caucus, but from the outside, they are partners. Tinubu and Buhari have been partners since Buhari became the president. If Tinubu had any ideas on how to solve the major problems that Nigeria is currently going through, the problems with insecurity and the economic problems, then he should have chipped in those ideas to Buhari long time ago. But he refused because there are no ideas. Tinubu has absolutely no ideas to solve the problems. Buhari, the same thing. If anything, Buhari even has an agenda. So why should that same Tinubu be putting himself forward to become the president in 2023 when he clearly doesn't have the solutions to the problems? That's a rhetorical question because we know the answer. The answer is he wants to be the president because it is his lifelong ambition. That's all that is. So with all of that being said, we are upset at Kanu and the ex-Super Eagle players for aligning with such an individual. That's all it is. It's really that simple. I'm not going to come here and be throwing insults at Kanu and Taribo West and the rest of them because it wouldn't change anything. Besides, they have the right to support anybody that they want to. Nobody, bro, I mean, we're supposed to be in a democratic system, even though we all know it's a fake one. But the fact that we're in a democratic system, it gives everybody the right and the privilege to support any candidate of your choice. And in all fairness, it wasn't even in an electoral situation that the ex-Super Eagles were supporting Tinubu. It was during his 70th birthday, according to them. Right? So we can give them a benefit of the doubt. But the explanation that Kanu Nwankwo gave for supporting Tinubu, which is 20 years ago in the year 2000, he had his Kanu Heart Foundation trying to conduct surgeries, free surgeries on people with cardiovascular problems. He didn't find any sponsors apart from Tinubu. And that's why he had to repay Tinubu the way he did. You know what? In my opinion, it's a good thing. I'm going to try to be as logical as possible in this breakdown. It's a good thing that Tinubu can put some of his money, even though it's stolen money and dirty money, but he could put some of that money into the Heart Foundation that will eventually have a positive impact on the health of people. So that part of it is good. But what is terrible about this is if Kanu comes back to support this guy 22 years later, after witnessing his track record for 22 years, that's bad. This is as good as, I'll give you guys the perfect analogy and I'll close this show. You have Torji Bello, a notorious bandit that operates in Zamfara, Sokoto, northwest Nigeria area. So when Torji Bello was in primary school, because I assume he went to a primary school, he probably had seatmates. He had classmates that they were friends together. They would share sweets, gum, chewing gum, and all that stuff. Just what children do. And then fast forward 20-something years later, Torji Bello becomes a notorious terrorist that is responsible for the kidnapping and the killings of hundreds of people. But it's like the friend of Torji Bello, while they were in primary school, coming out in 2022 and telling us that you guys need to forgive and let Torji Bello be a free man. Let him have his will to operate freely around the northwest part of the country. Because when we were younger, he used to give me sweets and chewing gum. He was a very nice guy. So for that reason, you guys, I have to support him, even though he's a notorious bandit and a terrorist today. That is the exact situation with Kanu Nwankwo supporting Tinubu because he did him a favor 20 years ago. It's the same exact thing. Let me repeat this again for those at the back. Torji Bello, a notorious bandit out of the northwest region of Nigeria. He operates out of Sokoto and Zamfara, that area, Katsina. Torji Bello is responsible for the kidnapping and the murder of hundreds of Nigerians in the northwest. He's currently on the run. They are looking for him. Now, when Torji Bello was a kid, a child, in primary school, maybe in his Alimajiri school somewhere in Kebbi, he had friends that they would exchange sweets, exchange chewing gum. You know what children do. So now that Torji Bello in 2022 is a notorious bandit and a terrorist, it's like one of his friends from 20 years ago while they were kids comes out and says, man, you guys need to just forgive and forget about the criminalities that Torji Bello is involved in today. Because when we were kids, he used to give me his chewing gum, his crayon, and his sweets. So I'm going to stand by him because he used to stand by me back in the days. It doesn't make sense. And that's why we are upset with Kanu Nwankwo for coming out and supporting Tinubu. But it's all good. Everybody has his right to support whoever you want to support. And if you're not going to support someone, it's all good. Let it go. The most important thing is we can't continue this way. We can't continue living in a situation where we have no direction. All thanks to the leadership, and it has trickled down into the society where an average citizen is like the leader. The only problem is they haven't had the opportunity to be in a leadership position, so they keep on crying and complaining about the leaders. But the truth is, if an average citizen gets into those positions of power, they will probably do the same as the leaders they are complaining about. That's the new country that we have, and we can't continue going like this. And that's why we need a mental revolution as soon as possible. It has already begun. That's why a lot of us are on all these social media platforms talking and trying to enlighten ourselves, because we can't continue like this. So with that being said, thank you for watching the African Wahala once again on Diaspora Radio International. We will be back tomorrow giving you guys more stories from across the continent of Africa, especially Nigeria. Peace, blessings, and have a great day ahead.